glad that we're doing this instead of watching anything else tonight, because apparently the breadth and the width and depth of Pat McAfee's read for dude wipes has been highly noted on Wrestling Blue Sky, including comments like, I can't believe that wrestling commentary has made me feel self-conscious about how I wipe my ass. And no, Pat, I didn't need to know when professional wrestlers and why and how should use dude wipes.
I'm a bidet man, so I don't follow any of that.
Amen. Amen. You'll rip my bidet out of my cold, dead hands.
I mean, I could be convinced, although I don't know. You know, you get into a habit. I don't know.
To be fair, though, like at least the name is is showing the proper way, because it's not like Rub McAfee, it's not like Grind McAfee. It's Pat. That's what you're supposed to do. You know, that's how you avoid hemorrhoids. He's a good man. He's a good man.
That is the most untrue thing that's ever been said on this podcast.
I felt bad even the words coming out of my mouth. It's like, nope, that's not right. That's incorrect.
I first, my brain went, why are we talking about piles? And then I realized that I did it. I started this. It's my fucking fault.
Yep, this was all on you. And it has nothing to do with what we're about to do on the Fairly KickAss podcast.
Jesus Christ.
You know,
to quickly break the fourth wall, that we recorded the 5-year anniversary episode, which went up right before this. If you check that out, it's so introspective. It was so well done. And then this is how we start literally 10 minutes later.
We used up all our professionalism in that first run.
Yeah.
Now
I believe
that
that tells you exactly where we're at. We're going to poopy buttholes into the intro music. It is officially the segue from hell.
Well, I'm Jay, and that's Zach and Dan, and we are moving into our second recording of the day for whatever reason. Oh man. But this one's, one of our iconic now Billboard re-racks. So it's going to be fun. This time, we always pick a random year in the pantheon of years. And we came up with 2009 this time. So, we're in for it.
Yes, we are.
I am going to be the contrarian of the group, I feel like, because this list was far better than I had expected it to be. Far better.
There's a chunk of it, yes.
Okay, there is the worse as well. We'll certainly scratch. I feel like there's going to be a lot of overlap in our bottom 10 this time.
Possibly.
Well, maybe we'll see. I will say this though, the entire span of points that I give arbitrary scores to all of these as I'm listening to them, and the entire span of points was from 51 was my lowest score, and 69 was my highest score.
Nice.
So we are in a very small window. I had to use decimal points.
Oh, wow.
When it came down to not having a 13-way tie.
I mean, there's a precedent for that.
I was like, This one is marginally better than this one, so we'll give it a 65.95.
You went scientific on that shit.
Seriously?
Nope. It was still arbitrary. But
no, my bottom 2 or 3 especially are miles below the rest of my list. So there's a good separation for me. I'm curious to hear kind of what ended up. Dan, how are you feeling about it? Were you more in the narrow range?
Yeah, a little bit. I was really, I said, aside from the stuff that rose to the top, I was very, very meh on a lot of this stuff because let me tell you, because there's definitely stuff that you look at this and go, wow, man, how did this get released? How did this get made? Nope, different thing, completely different. Don't do that.
So, do we have pulled up to figure out where we're going to start for this, or?
Yeah, we sure do. And this is just a quick thing to tell all of you listeners that you're lovely and you're wonderful inside and out. And there's
You're
no
tap
other reason.
dancing while you go ahead and find the random number generator, and that's cool. You know, we were just talking a little bit ago about preparation and the thing and how this whole thing is going to go. And you know, if you want to slot me third, and I can hope that you guys already talk about these songs that come up, so I don't have to try to bullshit my way into them, I'd be totally cool with that.
We can do it. We can do it. You know what?
That's quite a gamble. That's quite a gamble to take, though.
It is, but I don't have a choice. I have a list, and that's about it.
Well, since I was a tap dancer, how about I dip my toe in first, because that just feels fair, and then we'll follow up with Jay, and then Dan, you will be the hammer for this one. That
sounds good, I suppose.
No, Shot Rock. Sorry, you'll be Shot Rock here on this list.
I'll be the skip.
Yeah. That's exactly. Yep. The one with the brush. The one with the.
Do you know? Do you know what sport we're talking about?
I have no idea. I looked up sports on Wikipedia before we started. I just read the first thing I saw.
You are correct. It is netball. Let's go.
Yes, got it in one. So real quick, format-wise, we'll do our 10 through 6 rapid fire, each of us, and then our number 5s, and then we'll go in around 5, 4, 3, 2. We'll go to the bottom of the list. We'll breeze through our bottom 10. We kind of flavor that a little different depending on who it is. Like I have a lot to say about my number 100, just to preface it like that.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll see how we do time-wise and see how much of this gets cut out, to be fair. So let me start with my number 10 through number 6, and then I'll pause for a minute, and then we'll go to my number 5. So number 10, Fabulous, featuring The Dream, Throw It in the Bag. This is not a song that's going to win any awards. Let's not kid ourselves. But it's fun. It's fun. It's smooth. It's a track that I enjoyed. Bit of a homer pick there, but yeah, definitely one that I enjoy. Number 9, Coldplay with Viva La Vida, the title track from the last great Coldplay album. We've talked about some less great Coldplay albums. I don't want to ever hear anything about Music of the Spheres ever again for the rest of my life. But Viva La Vida, or Death and All His Friends, was a fantastic album, and this was a great track from it. Number 8, IAZ with Replay. My number 8 song on the list, but my number 1 hook on the list, because that shit will drill its way into your brain and it will not escape. Number 7, Jason Derulo and What You Say. Number 7 song on my list.
You didn't say it right.
Sorry. Jason Derulo.
Nailed it.
with What You Say, for many of the same reasons as IAZ's Replay, will not come as any surprise, as the same dude, J.R. Rotem, produced both tracks, and it is evident. It's cheese, but I like cheese. I love cheese. And then number 6, Michael Franti and Spearhead, featuring Shireen Anderson, with Say Hey, I Love You. Michael Franti said he came up with the lyrics after taking a shower at Woody Harrelson's house, of all things, which is just such a good flex that I can't be mad at it. Woody, without missing a beat, apparently asked if the song was a number 1 or a number 2, which I also can't be mad at. So everyone wins here. Hats off to all involved.
Right on. I'd like to say I don't have an argument. I started writing it down because your number 10 was my number 79. Your number 9 was my number 72. And your number 8 was my number 65.
Yes. Yes.
The other two were fine.
There's been far too much agreement in these re-ranks over the last several that we've done. So I'm excited for some dissent in the ranks.
Nothing that I'm going to actually wind up talking about, because they didn't make the bottom of the list either, but
we'll see if the number 5 also hits the bottom of your list. But I feel like it's probably going to be closer to the top, I have to guess, because my number 5 song is a fantastic song in a vacuum. But what really stands out to me about this song is how strongly it elicits certain feelings and emotions. Motifs of loneliness, of isolation, and then on the other side of comfort and relief. the song does a fantastic job of bringing those feelings to the forefront, making them not only sound great, but also making them extremely relatable. That song is Day and Night by Kid Cudi. That entire album, Man on the Moon 1, The End of Day, I believe it's called. I'm kind of working off of memory because I didn't write it down. But that whole album deals with those same motifs. And I feel like Day and Night is probably the best of the bunch there. Cudi's voice is smooth. He is, perhaps flow-wise, one of the most underrated, at least of the last, 15 years, 20 years or so, specifically in terms of flow. And for me, as someone who also enjoys the night, which is also a very strong motif, and how quiet it is, how slow it is, how peaceful it is, and how, in a lot of cases that makes it easier to kind of subconsciously slip out of the stress of the day. I feel like Cudi really embodied that well in this track.
Yeah. No stark arguments. I have it at 39.
I'll take it.
Again, my window is this big. Like there's very few.
I see that. I have no arguments whatsoever, but also more to come.
Okay. Right on.
Jay, I think the floor is yours for your 10 through 6 and then your 5.
Sounds good. Well, we agree on at least one thing because at number 10, I have Say Hey, I Love You by Michael Franti and Spearhead. It's good when an American musician can do reggae style and make it fun and top the charts. And it doesn't wind up being COD reggae. At number 9, I have Best I Ever Had by Drake. Even when Drake made an effort, it sounded effortless. Good samples. I meant that in a good way on this song. Good samples, killer beat, and a catchy chorus. Can't go wrong. Number 8, I have Dead and Gone by T.I. featuring Justin Timberlake. It's an anthem for growing up and moving on. Justin on his best beats and chorus, and T.I. showing what he can do. It also has the benefit of falling out of my memory, like not being able to place the lyrics and melody. And then when it's playing, I can sing along like muscle memory. So it's like a new song every time I listen to it, but not really. At number 7, I have Use Somebody by Kings of Leon. And this one's here mostly because it's fun to play. And anymore, it has the, oh yeah, I remember that song leitmotif working for it. At number 6, I have Womanizer by Britney Spears. While it can't be considered peak Britney, this tune has enough peak Britney to make toward the top of this list. Also, I like that the lyrics don't come across as I'm an independent woman who won't take your shit as much as I'm threatening you, you piece of shit. I like that.
I dig it.
Okay. How do you guys feel about my 10 through 6?
Well, most of it was fine, was kind of in the middle for it. Best I Ever Had, I had at number 17. I think that was one of Drake's earliest and best songs for sure. Dead and Gone was not at number 17. That I had down at number 82.
Yeah, right on.
I have just never been I've liked a lot of T.I.'s work. I've just never at all been a fan of that song.
Fair enough.
And I think Use Somebody just got played out on the radio for me, which is not at all fault of the song. So
that's fair.
Yeah.
I'm trying to look real quick. And here's the thing. I have 3 of those 4 songs in a grand tie in the middle with like 12 others. But the first thing I wrote about Best I Ever Had was simply just, Drake was good before he regularly got his lunch money taken.
Yeah.
Those first few albums were fire.
He really was. Yeah. Anyway.
Okay, cool. Well, at number 5, despite the monotone, auto-tune riddled, borderline incredibly problematic lyrics, this is one of the most fun songs of the year. I'm talking about Blame It by Jamie Foxx and T-Pain. Jamie and T-Pain tell the story of a club experience wherein a young man or young men attempt to get lucky by displaying their metaphorical plumage on the dance floor and trying to talk a young lady into what would ultimately probably be a mistake. It's actually kind of a sad song from the perspective of the young dudes there, thinking that the only chance they have is if she's hammered, or at the very least willing to settle and then blame it on the drink. I guess what I'm trying to say here is the song is a banger.
Once again, I didn't have it quite as high as you did. So I keep scrolling here. Keep scrolling.
Good God.
I had a feeling. I basically shoehorned it in.
It's not my favorite. We'll say that much. It's for all the reasons you actually said.
I do kind of ironically enjoy it. The chorus is that kind of fun gimmicky thing.
Mm-hmm.
Guess where that's at.
Well, I want to guess like 15.
It's in that somewhere in that 12-way tie. It would be maybe 25, 30, that area.
Gotcha.
I don't know. There's a couple ties ahead of it. So my list was very similar to yours in a certain area.
Yeah, it sounds like the two of you might have been more in lockstep than
maybe.
Well, so.
I don't know. It sounds like the top of my list is the middle of his. What does the top of your list look like?
Yeah, I'm curious.
Well, actually, maybe a little bit, and I mean, not so much, because I'll start at number 10, ironically enough, with Michael Franti and Spearhead featuring Rena Anderson. Say, hey, I love you. All the things that they just said, like, this song's just fun as hell. I don't remember it, I didn't expect to love it as much. What can I say? At number 9, Rihanna and Disturbia. It's the absolute perfect blend of melding vocals and production to create a mood. You set a scene audibly. It was great. No, I'm going to separate here. At number 8, I have Maxwell and Pretty Wings from like the bottom of the list. It came in at number 99, but it's beautiful and simmering R&B with some neo soul elements. At number 7, I have the second most forgotten single from the Fame, and Lady Gaga and Love Game, which doesn't get the love that it deserves. It's a far better song than a lot of people kind of relegated it to. Just, whatever, it's a throwaway from her debut. Like, no, it's actually pretty good. At number 6, what became the iconic song off of, which I think, at least for me, off of I Am Sasha Fierce, I have Beyonce and Halo. All right, so where are you at?
Yeah.
The
Beyonce and the Rihanna are both in the 30s for me.
Okay. I'll take it.
I am trying to find where I put Maxwell, and there it is, 59.
Right.
But that's the lowest I have.
Maxwell for me was 13. You nailed it, Dan. That song is beautiful, and Maxwell is beautiful. So that's one of those, like, he can sing the phone book, and it's just going to sound
right.
I was not as high on Love Game as you were, clocking in at, I kind of feel like it was a mistake now at number 81.
Okay.
Because that album was so good, and I just felt like Love Game just didn't do it for me. But we'll talk more about a track from that album later.
Oh, I'm sure we will.
At least one. But yeah, like that everything else I think was in like the top 15 that you mentioned for me.
Yeah. That one I have at 51. So that's the next lowest.
Yeah.
Oh, perfect. Since I don't have an intro, you helped me with the segue for this. So let's do that right now, and we'll talk about the introductory single from that record. The first taste that we got of the Fame, the first introduction to Lady Gaga. It's Just Dance is my number 5. And there's a whole lot to go in there. And it was, when I say the intro, and then now we can look back and think about it, that album was the sort of the first taste of what would become her signature art pop sound. And that was the first, I keep saying first taste, the first intro of where we're going to get the fusion of the tight pop songs that she would become known for, while also the introduction of a lot of the weird electronic sounds. And we're going to get a little bit more of an artistic attempt at some of this pop production. And I was also surprised as you were to find out that it's co-written by Akon, but sure, why not?
I want to have been in the room when whoever had made the decision, probably Akon, to be fair, I don't know that Gaga can really carry this single on her own. Let's bring Colby O'Donis in to make sure that we bolster that up a little bit.
So I have just 2 questions. Number 1, who is Colby O'Donis? Because I think he featured in another song later this year. And 2, where is he on the track?
Also correct.
Yeah.
Like, no one remembers that this guy was
because he's anywhere. Not. It's like, is that like Justin Timberlake on Where Is the Love? Like, he was there, but he didn't want to get the credit?
He's also on another track with Akon on this list, which I have much lower. I have the same question, and I'm like, man, maybe he probably should have been there. That's on the song Beautiful.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did, OJ. That was 73 for me.
I have it at 88, so
I can't blame Colby O'Donis because
no.
where the fuck was he? Yeah, but besides that part, like no arguments here. Fantastic song, fantastic intro to what it would be and what still is an illustrious career.
Hey, beautiful.
I have it at 11. It just missed my top 10.
Feel like I had a good pick there. I had Beautiful, by the way, in the early 70s.
Yeah.
Attaboy.
It would be in the early 70s if I had gone to 2 decimal points. which I'm going to in the future now.
Well, I can go ahead with my my number 4 then.
Yeah, please do.
Because it's we're gonna run it back, not with the same song, but with the same person. We are going to talk about what, in my mind at least, is the spiritual successor to the Delaney and Bonnie song Superstar. It was a song that was more famously covered by the Carpenters and then famously covered again by Luther Vandross. Both versions are amazing. You should go listen to both of them if you haven't heard them. This is a little bit more complex than both of those two because it deals with the other side of that equation as well, not just the side of the fame from the fandom, from the ones who love and idolize the artist, but from the artists themselves and what they do with that idolatry, what they do with that love and the feelings from fans. Like, do they want that? How do they want that? It's very layered. It's very interesting. And that song, again, of course, Lady Gaga with Paparazzi. The fame, like, it's a whole theme album, right? Like these similar themes are littered up and down this album. It's a great listen end to end for that reason. Re-released in a deluxe version called The Fame Monster, which I would recommend that version just because there's more of it to consume. But Paparazzi specifically gives a bit of an almost seedy underbelly to the trappings of fame. Like, we look at it and we see, oh, she's got all the money, she's got all the interviews, and she's on the red carpets, and she was in a movie. But there's more to it than that. It's not all gravy, right? So I think the song does a really good job of portraying that with a kind of bop on top that if you don't listen to the lyrics, you're like, this is a fun song. This is upbeat. This is catchy. No, there's way more to it than that. So yeah, Gaga killed it on this whole album. And I think Paparazzi was the best of the bunch.
I actually have it as the lowest of the three. Did I count that right? Of her songs that are on this chart?
I think, yeah.
It's the lowest at 29.
Not bad.
Right. Like I'm agreeing with everything you said. For me, the other two were a little higher. That one it's a brilliant tune too.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it was 11, just missed out the top 10, and for me, and that says exactly how much I liked Say Hey.
It's just a cool song.
It really is.
Good stuff.
We're really hurting for segues today.
Yeah,
I know.
Well, speaking of segues, Jay, how about you hit us with your number 4?
So my number 4, Beyonce has a long celebrated history of songs that empower women to be in control of themselves when it comes to their relationships, but none of them are as fun and danceable or as iconic as Single Ladies, Put a Ring on It. This is really the song that put Beyonce where she is now, and deservedly. Like, it has everything. It's sarcastic and cheeky. It's got one of the coolest beats from the year, with all the hand claps and shit happening in the background. It's easily quotable in social situations, and it has that guitar part in the choruses that's in a different key, but still feels like it belongs, right?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Everything. It has it all.
And the music video has, like, the dancing and the choreography is, like you mentioned the word fun. It's just so fun.
Yeah.
It's just become iconic.
Absolutely. Hence, it's my number 4 tune.
Absolutely put her. I mean, not that she needed to be on the map. She certainly already was on the map, but this was like, oh, this is Beyonce. This isn't just Beyonce. This is Beyonce.
Right. Yeah. This is the solidifying moment, right?
100%.
She's not just bootylicious.
Right.
That was the gimmick. This is yeah. I think I regret making the statement about Halo being the anthem from that record. Although I had it at 12. Yeah. Like, it's not. I disagree with you at all on that.
Right. How about you, Dan? Well, we're very much at odds a lot on this list. So where are you going to throw it for number 4?
Well, I think I'm going to continue a theme, and apparently we're here to the last night because you talk about single ladies being the thing that announced, say, this is Beyonce. Well, that was Poker Face for Lady Gaga. Is the whole this is not just our little art pop single. This is going to be a pop juggernaut, and that's exactly what Poker Face was. And is. Again, you want to talk about to do your signature song kind of with your second single? Not bad. I don't know if I need to explain it, but like top to bottom, I think Fame would probably be my favorite record from this year. I don't know if that's obvious or not, but 4 singles in the top 11. Yeah, maybe it was a fan. And then from a personal thing, I felt like I was on the right track because I heard other people at the time who were not pop fans, who were the last people you would think of who would listen to things that ended up on the top 40, raving about how good this album is, which is why I'm like, all right, I guess I'll have to give the whole thing a chance. If he's listening to it, then I will totally have to give this whole thing a chance. I'm glad I did.
Yeah, good call.
I will say, as someone who is a fan of poker, who is a poker player, I don't know that I could recommend strategically some of the things in this song, specifically like don't be bluffing with your muffin, like eat your muffin, that's tasty, and bluff with your cards instead.
What if I added the muffin to the pot?
Oh, that's a
because it's I didn't think about this, but baked goods are like, I am a fan and I am nowhere in the same universe as good of a player as you are. But I'm wondering if I could start adding baked goods to some of my bets.
To literally sweeten the pot.
To drive it home. I am not so confident, not just confident in my hand that I'm willing to put my money in, but I am willing to put this blueberry muffin and this odd restaurant style pat of butter here that I have in this foil tin, just because it's here.
I would be afraid of that. I would fold 100%. Like, this dude is really confident if he's going to give up the muffin.
And then let me turn over my unsuited 3-9 for you.
Got him. Oh my gosh.
Songs for number 3. Zach, it's your turn.
Yes.
Let's do it.
Well done. Check is in the mail. So before I get into my number 3, I will mention, for those who want a bit of extra credit, that we did an unsung episode on the Swedish producing sensation Max Martin back in March of 2023. For those that may not be familiar, our unsung episodes are kind of semi-deepish dives into individuals in the music industry that you may not be familiar with, that you may not have heard of, but who are no less influential to many different areas of music, be it artists, be it executives, and in this case, producer. And Max Martin being one of the prominent production figures throughout the 2000s, it's no surprise that he ends up somewhere in this chart producing one of the hit songs. More than one, I believe, but definitely my number 3 song. But make no mistake, even though this was produced by Max Martin, it is Pink that makes the song special, and that song is So What. We all know that the fuck you anthem is a bit of a trope in music, but just because it's a trope doesn't mean that it can't be great. And So What is a perfect example of that. In fact, it's one of the finest kinds of fuck you anthem, because it is the fuck you anthem that is unapologetic, the fuck you anthem that doesn't ask permission. That, I think, Jay, was it you talking about, I think one of the Beyonce tracks in that way? Shame on me, I can't recall exactly which track.
I don't remember either.
But basically, it knocked down the door and kind of challenged you to fight, as opposed to, like, being done with your shit. Like, that's kind of the difference in So What to me.
Oh, that was the Britney Spears track that I said.
Womanizer. Thank you. That was Womanizer. Absolutely it was. Yeah, same exact deal here. Written in light of Pink's then separation from Carrie Hart. She pulls no punches. She'll gladly get into a scuffle, but ultimately she knows that she'll come out of the other side regardless of, and in some cases in spite of, anyone who stands in her way. And nothing against Jessica Simpson, but I would go out on a limb and guess that the tables are being taken from people and given to Pink now, and not vice versa anymore.
While that is probably true, this is probably my least favorite of Pink's songs ever. of her big singles, like this is probably my least favorite.
I'm here for it.
All right. I don't feel bad of having it in that 12 weight tie in the late 20s, early 30s then.
Yeah, no, I have it down at 70. I genuinely like her voice. I genuinely like the sentiment of the song, but I don't like the song.
I do like something about the writing of the song where it's like, look, it is very clear when she's writing here. There's not a whole lot of like masking what we're talking about.
Yeah.
Like it's just
that's
up front, and it's well done here.
Agreed.
Yeah, it was good stuff. You know what else is good stuff?
Yeah. Well, you don't know that for sure. We've been
fair.
kind of on opposite sides of this list.
That's a good point. What may possibly be good stuff, Jay, is your number 3.
So the sheer popularity and ubiquity of this song really make it something worth talking about here. I am not a fan of Flo Rida, but he's kind of undeniable on Right Round. The track has the energy of the Black Eyed Peas, the skill and pop sensibility of Nelly, and samples an obnoxiously catchy song. Kesha's inclusion on the song just adds to the earworminess of it, as her particular brand of squeak singing that she was fond of doing at the time actually works here. For the record, I don't particularly like that I have this song in this spot, but if I'm being honest, it deserves to be here.
Just above Just Dance for me, believe it or not, at 31.
All right.
Wow.
I'm with you. It's
I'll take that.
So take all the stuff that you said about the song and describing it, and then said, but I like it. Okay, stop at the but, and then I can add on, and it explains why I have it at 75.
This is the best list we've ever done.
Oh my God.
This is amazing.
How does none of it line up except Michael Franti?
That might be it the whole time. That might be the only one.
Well, I don't see that happening.
No,
I'm pretty sure my number 1 is at least up here somewhere for you guys, but
I'm thinking we're going to be pretty similar in the direction there. I hope.
Well, what direction did you take for your number 3? I guess we'll find out.
Oh, hey, that was actually a segue. It worked.
It was actually a segue.
Well, the direction I'm going to go here, we haven't hit yet because it's straight to New York City, and it's straight to an iconic hip hop album, and it's straight to the Blueprint 3. Not the one that everyone thinks of initially off that album, which is fine, because Run This Town is still a killer track with that just starting at the driving beat that really puts you in the feeling of wandering through this city and knowing that you own it. And then an undeniable hook from Rihanna. Kanye's here too, but don't worry about that. But Jay is more importantly here and just at the top of his game, like he was for most of that record. Just unbelievably fire. Ridiculous flow like he's always got.
No arguments. If we could have gone with 2/3 of the artists on that track in hindsight.
If we can find a guy, but
I will say that Jay's kind of arrogant flow sometimes does get under my skin. For instance, Never Let Me Down was one instance that it just didn't work.
Okay. Yeah, no, I can see it. But in something like this where you're hyping up your control of the city, it makes the most sense.
Precisely.
It's the blueprint of a song like that.
See what you did there.
Thank you.
Time and place. The song is time and place on display.
That's fair.
Yeah, and you nailed it. Everything you said is true. I have it at 21.
11 for me. Yeah, it's 2/3 of an absolute banger of a track.
Yeah. Cool. Is your number 2 track also an absolute banger of a track?
Yes. It is an absolute banger of a track, and it does feature one of the artists from Dan's number 3, in fact. So there's a lot of synergy going on there. It's also a song that has nothing to do with the movie, despite both having the same really kind of unique name. The movie from 2007 is one that I've actually seen, believe it or not.
Wow.
I think. It might have been Eagle Eye. It might have been this movie. They're probably the same movie, let's be realistic, but I saw one of them. But no matter what, the song is way better than either of those movies are. Of course, I'm talking about Disturbia by Rihanna. Yeah, Rihanna, I don't think has ever exited her status as being at the top of the game, since she entered the game. So I don't think that this was necessarily like a track that really made her, so to speak, but it was just good. It was part of the reissue of Good Girl Gone Bad, specifically called Good Girl Gone Bad Reloaded. It's just Rihanna dance pop goodness at its core, at its peak. But it also has that kind of sinister vibe lurking under the covers that just makes it ever so slightly unsettling to listen to. Like this is a club banger, but there's just something that makes my tummy hurt a little bit when I listen to it. And I love that. I love that so much.
Sort of like watching a Shia LaBeouf movie.
Or two Shia LaBeouf movies. Disturbia Eagle Eye double feature coming to a Twitch stream of Fairly KickAss near you.
Nope.
No thanks. I'd rather be shot.
Well, since I have been summarily dispatched on that idea, I will instead tell you that Rihanna's the best and Disturbia is also the best.
It's a good tune. Still have it at number 30. It hasn't changed.
Still have it at 8. That didn't change anything.
Right.
It's like you're not going to get anything from me. And just disagreement from me. But Jay, will we get a disagreement about your number 2 song?
Hopefully you won't.
I can do it too.
Yeah, you can. You did it. I'm aware that this is not the most popular of Beyonce's tunes on this list. I've already mentioned that one. In fact, it's probably the one most forgotten out of the stuff on this list. However, it has a few things that are a leg up for me. It's a simple 4-chord progression, but it has a bass line that rocks throughout the song, except for dropping out in the beginning of the second verse. The song is Sweet Dreams. That bass slides from note to note in a way that drags you right along with it. Then we talk about the melodies on this song. Yes, melodies, plural, that go along with that progression. They never let you settle on one specific melody for too long before switching the energy again. It's a love song, but not a somewhat mundane love song like the T Swift tunes on this list or literally any of the country tunes on this list. It is a powerhouse of a song with a killer hook and, well, Beyonce.
It honestly reminds me a lot of Disturbia in a way, just like the vibe, kind of that sinister aspect of it, I think is present in this song too.
Those undertones, yeah.
For sure.
And as much as I don't think I knew what to do with it.
Yeah.
Which is why it's in that tie in the lower 20s, upper 30s, like 15 other songs.
It is the weirdest of the Beyonce tunes on this list, but when she does stuff like that, it's what attracts me to her stuff, right? We've already talked about how much I like the weirder things that have a little bit of an extra element to it. For Single Ladies, it's that guitar part that doesn't match the rest of the song. It's sort of there. It's in a different key, but somehow it still works. For Sweet Dreams, it's that really cool synth bass line that doesn't let up.
Yeah, it's all very avant-garde,
Yeah.
Is it really? I just guessed.
I mean, that word has so very little meaning. You can use it for anything.
That's true.
That's true. Dan, would you say that your number 2 is avant-garde in any way?
I've had a number 2 that was avant-garde. Nope.
Well, actually, you might be able to call the number 2, my number 2, avant-garde, but there's already things that you have called it, which is smooth with a great flow and themes that hit very close to home, depending on how you want to take it. Of course, it's Kid Cudi and Day and Night. And as I was listening, I wrote something down real quick when you were talking about the night side of it. And there's a very weak comparison that you could probably draw, and I'm not the type to sit down and do the deep dive into it. But if you want to take that concept of what Day and Night is saying about the personalities and draw a comparison to In the Wee Small Hours, the Frank Sinatra record, I'm sure there's something there on a couple different levels, both thematically and emotionally.
No doubt.
And that is my avant-garde asshole moment of the day.
Is that a new segment for us? Like, we just got to come up with the avant-garde asshole of the day?
No, asshole moment.
Sure. That's what I meant.
And you know what? Here's the thing, though. We could probably do it like at the very end of the show, like, at the end of a sports ball game. And we go, we'll bring it to and before we go, we have to bring you tonight's Preparation 8's avant-garde asshole moment of the night.
That is the sponsor. That's what you want.
Yeah, it's my brain. I mean, who else?
Let's not go down that rabbit hole.
Yeah,
or any hole.
Nope. But speaking of assholes,
I got plenty of those.
So we got to go down and check those out. The bottom of the list, which this time seems like it's going to be a lot more fun, but it's not going to be me cursing for 10 straight minutes. And I can't wait to see this. So, Zach, do you want to do your full bottom 10? It sounds like you do this time.
I do, just because of the way I structured it.
Let's go.
I did a little bit of a different vibe this time, because instead of just doing song by song, I kind of set things up into categories. So I had a couple of different categories of tracks that I wanted to share with all of you in my bottom 10. The first category being songs that I like, but that I recognize are objectively doo-doo. For example, I Love College by Asher Roth. One of the laziest raps I've ever heard.
Yep.
To be real. Some of the laziest production. I don't even know if I'd call it production. It's just like a dude recorded some stuff in Audacity and put it out and was like, okay, good enough. We don't need to actually master this. We don't need to finish this. It's fine. Also, the song does nothing but describe a typical college day. It's not even interesting, but yet I love it. And I don't know why, because it's terrible. Also in that category of songs that I love, but that are objectively terrible, it's Mr. Worldwide, guys. It's Mr. 305. I'm sorry that I love it. I Know You Want Me, Calle Ocho. I adore it. It's ass. It's a guilty pleasure. It's so bad. From the mouth of the Miami turd machine in the flesh. That will live rent free for so long, Jay. You don't even understand.
So sorry.
You don't even understand.
Here's the thing. When I write stuff, it doesn't come out that good. That was off the cuff.
Brilliant. No notes.
Nope.
Second category I have is terrible samples. That one includes Sugar by the aforementioned Flo Rida, in this case featuring Winter Gordon. A comically bad sample of Eiffel 65's Blue. Like, a song that I like well enough, but like, if I'm trying to pick a song to sample, why that one? That's a terrible song to sample. And the sample was terrible. It was like Terrible Sandwich. Like, pick a better song, such as Nah Nah Hey Hey Kiss 'Em Goodbye by Steam. Objectively a better track than Blue, and objectively a worse sample, thanks to one Christina DeBarge. Yes, as in that DeBarge family, James's daughter, to be specific. It doesn't matter whose daughter she is. It doesn't make the song or the sample any better, because it's absolute dog shit.
I have it at 17.
No, Shane, no. No.
Wow.
Your list is giving me life for all the wrong reasons, Jay.
I know.
I got it at 90.
I wrote it's a good reimagining of a classic. It's like Alessia Cara, but without the Disney appeal.
Just take the word Disney out and you nailed it. So good. And then we have the repetition category, manifesting in songs such as Akon's Right Now with the flurry of na, 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 na. We have the aforementioned Blame It, Jamie Foxx featuring T-Pain with the and not to be left out is Kevin Rudolph with Let It Rock. Seriously, like 95% of this song is in the same key. Over and over, every like single like note. I cannot handle it in my brain. I can't listen to the song for more than 5 seconds. Lil Wayne's there too. Who cares? We'll hear more from him later. Trust me.
Yeah.
One that we've already shit on in the songs that were just plain annoying category, Love Lockdown by Kanye West. I don't know what you would call the microphone effect in this song. I guess it's like a poorly configured auto tune or shitty. You know, however you want to carve it up, it's not a listenable song in any respect.
It's like he decided, hey, you know that mic we broke the other day? Yeah, plug that in.
That's seriously what it sounds like, bro. It's terrible. Like, you can afford good equipment. Don't tell me you can't, Kanye. Even back in 2008 or 2009.
I have that one marginally above Heartless, but mostly because the shit quality of the song is more interesting.
How high was Heartless?
Upper 40s.
Okay, so I can live.
They're
with
upper 40s.
I can live with that. Heartless was I don't know where I had it. It might have been in the 40s for me, because at least it's like an interesting beat and an interesting like delivery from Kanye. And he shouts out Dr. Evil, and that's always cool. Just a couple more. That was number 98. I realized I haven't been saying any numbers because I've been so wrapped up in the deal, but that was number 98. Number 99, a double dipper, annoying and repetitive, and that's Turn My Swag On by Soulja Boy Tell 'Em. Turn my swag on. Why they hating on me? What's up? I just told you 90% of the song. If y'all remember the song Bone Crusher's Never Scared, this is the same beat, only with a bunch of already chewed gum stuck to it. Every other word is held by Soulja for 3 seconds for no reason whatsoever. It's an absolute mess. It's a terrible song. It is not the worst song on the list, however, because that illustrious... I'm reading what I wrote. I wrote so much for this song. I can't possibly say all of these words. We'll be here for an hour. I'm trying to figure out how to make it more concise. So my number 100 song is not like the fun and fancy free song Bedrock from Lil Wayne's Young Money Entertainment label sampler platter of an album called We Are Young Money, which, by the by, we just did our premiere episode of our new format called Someone's, the episode just priors to this, where we each get a year and give a 5 to 10 minute rundown of any song that hit number one on any chart from that year. I got the year of 2010, and this charted in 2010, or Bedrock did, rather. I talked about it. It was fine. Every Girl is not Bedrock. Every Girl is a disgusting, skeevy mess. A couple of things, again, in the interest of time, that I'll quickly point out. One of the first lyrics where Lil Wayne proudly proclaims, quote, "Open up her legs, then filet mignon that pussy," end quote. That gives you an idea of what's to come. Drake's on this track. It's awful. Jay Mills is on the track. It's slightly better. Gudda Gudda is Bada Bada, as you probably come to expect from him. But the icing on this auto-tune and slime ball adorned hellscape of a song comes by way of then president of Young Money, Mac Main, who just goes completely off the deep end, including the lyrics, "In about 3 years, holla at me, Miley Cyrus." He wasn't joking. Miley Cyrus was 16 when this song was released, and very likely 15 when it was recorded. He then goes on to say very derogatory and graphic things about little people and about neurodivergent folks. It is one of the most heinous sets of bars that I've ever heard in hip hop music. And it unfortunately fit the motif of this song perfectly, which is why there was no question that it was going to be my number 100 song. It is a bad song objectively, a bad song sonically, and a bad song in every other measure of the word bad.
I need to lower where I have it on mine, and I have it at 90.
No, anywhere in that 90 to 100 range, I feel like is fitting.
Yeah, but I feel like I missed some of that. Honestly, it was bad enough that I don't think I was listening to the words because of how bad it sounded.
Most people would probably agree. This was one that you heard and it went in one ear and out the other, and then you never listened again in most cases.
Yeah.
Max bars were at the very end, so it's very easy to have missed them.
I do have it right next to Akon's Right Now and Soulja Boy's Turn My Swag On. Like, it's right. They're 80, 90, and 91. Boom, boom, boom.
What a shit sandwich of songs. Oh my God.
Wow.
Well, I've lowered the room quite a bit with
Yeah.
I tend through. Jay, you want to take a swing at it?
Yeah, I think I had a little more fun with the bottom of my list. I'm going to do a bottom 6 because I wrote stuff for the bottom 6. I didn't write much for my number 95 track, which is Rockin' That Thang by The Dream, or Rockin' That Shit if you actually listen to it on, from his album. It's the sonic equivalent of being cornered at a club by someone with minty breath and a one-track mind. The song's hook is so repetitive that it drills itself into your brain like a rusty power tool, leaving you with an inescapable earworm and a profound sense of existential dread. At number 96, now we get to my bottom 5, I put Gotta Be Somebody by Nickelback. It's a monument to musical mediocrity, oral wallpaper crafted with the subtlety of a sledgehammer. It's a song that embodies every negative stereotype that's unfairly lobbed at the band. I do like some of their earlier stuff. But this amplifies them to an almost all of those things to an almost comical degree. The lyrics are a collection of cliches about universal desire for love, delivered with the emotional depth of a Hallmark card. Chad Kroger's gravelly voice, which might be and is more effective in more aggressive content, here is strained and mawkish, adding an unpleasant layer of forced sincerity. Musically, the song is utterly predictable. It plods along with a paint-by-number arrangement of generic power chords, the rhythm sections phoning it in, and the melody's so bland it could be used to treat insomnia. Gotta Be Somebody isn't just a bad song, it's an insult to the notion of songwriting.
And that was like 95, was it? 96?
That was 95,
96.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, 96, yeah. All right, at number 97 is Shakira with She-Wolf. It's less a song and more of an anthropological study of what happens when you cross a pop star with a fever dream about a disco-era werewolf. The lyrics read like they were written by a slightly malfunctioning AI that was fed a diet of bad romance novels and a dictionary. And we're talking lines like, there's a she-wolf in the closet, let it out so it can breathe, which frankly sounds less like a metaphor for female empowerment and more like a cry for help from a hoarder with a serious lycanthropy problem. Musically, the song is a bizarre concoction of synth pop and half-assed howls, creating an auditory experience that's both dated and utterly perplexing. It's the kind of song that makes you wonder if your car radio's slowly melting. And we can't forget the video to it, where Shakira writhes in a cage like a captured zoo animal who's suddenly discovered Zumba. It's a visual feast, sure, but mostly in the way that so is a car crash. This song, She-Wolf, is proof that even some of the most talented artists can occasionally produce something that sounds like they lost a dare.
I gotta be honest, this description is making me think I've ranked the song too low. I'm raising it up in 10 points. It's gone from number 60 to number 50 based on this.
Cool. Glad I can help.
Well, made me believe I absolutely ranked it too high at 43.
That's all right. He'll boost at 10 points. You drop at 10 points. You'll meet in the middle.
There you go.
At number 98, I have Breakup by Mario featuring Gucci Mane and Sean Garrett. A truly groundbreaking exploration of human relationships, right up there with the works of Shakespeare. If Shakespeare was obsessed with designer clothes and had the lyrical depth of a puddle. The song, featuring lyrical stylings of Gucci Mane and Sean Garrett, blesses our ears with a tale of woe so profound, so heart-wrenching, it's a wonder it didn't win a Pulitzer. We're talking about the age-old struggle of a man who, despite showering his partner with the finest material possessions money can buy, is somehow shocked that she's leaving him. The sheer audacity.
I love this song.
I like Mario, but this song's ass.
I honestly like the Gucci lines in it. Like, they're so stupid. Girls are like buses, missed one, next 15 ones coming. So stupid. I can't get enough.
So I have this down at like 85, and I think the reason it's only there is like halfway through my brain just shut off. Like I had no control. It just was like, no, we're gonna stop doing this because you can't afford another concussion when you pass out and face plant on the desk.
Yeah.
The face bump card is very small. Okay.
No, I recognize I was going to be the only one of the three of us to have this in the top 20. It is number 20 specifically.
Oh my God.
On
Okay.
the strength of Sean Garrett, the pen.
You have no way to charge me about DeBarge. That's what I'm saying.
I don't. I really don't. The house is just straight up glass. The floor is glass. The walls are glass. The furniture.
All right. At number 99, let's talk about Waking Up in Vegas by Katy Perry. It is a relentless barrage of bullshit and bubblegum pop cliches that somehow managed to worm its way into the cultural consciousness for a while. It's the kind of track that makes you question the fabric of reality, wondering how something so utterly devoid of substance could exist, let alone achieve mainstream success. The lyrics are a monument to vapidity. They paint a picture of a hedonistic trip to Vegas with all the depth and nuance of a discarded cocktail napkin. We're subjected to the tale of a drunken debauchery and impulsive decisions, which I would love to celebrate, but can't because it's delivered with Perry's trademark brand of faux naughtiness that feels about as edgy as a butter knife. The production is equally offensive, a cacophony of overproduced synth and a beat that hits you over the head like a sledgehammer. I've used sledgehammer twice. I don't like that. It's the sonic equivalent of being trapped inside a malfunctioning slot machine with all the flashing lights and obnoxious noises turned up to 11. There's no room to breathe, no moment of respite from the relentless, saccharine sweet onslaught. Which brings us to number 100. Let's talk about Kiss Me Through the Phone by Soulja Boy, Sammy. It's a song so transcendently awful that to this day, it makes music critics and casual listeners alike gather in dimly lit rooms, sharing horrified whispers of 678 999 8212, like some kind of ancient curse. The production is a symphony of early 2000s ringtone-inspired chaos, a swirling vortex of synthetic beeps and boops. It's the kind of beat that makes you wonder if Soulja Boy produced it on a discarded flip phone he found in a dumpster. The lyrics are so vague, you can't tell if this is supposed to be sexy talk whilst on the drive home, or from a hotel room while on tour, or anything in between. And the sentiment itself is so childish that it makes you feel bad for him. Honestly, another bad creation was writing sexier content when they were 10.
You're not wrong. Oof.
You like that one too, don't you?
I do, but I ranked it objectively. It was 67.
Okay.
So did I. That's why it was 87.
I'm still just floored by the fact that this was actually Soulja's phone number when he put out this song.
Was it really?
Yes, it was.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he didn't expect that people would call him? They did. They
no
all
shit.
did. How'd you not see that coming, Soulj?
Mistake.
But yeah, it's fucking awful. I can't. I'm not going to stand up for this one.
No, not at all.
I think I ranked it at 100 because it is the earwormiest of the songs I dislike on this list. Like, that hook does not leave my head, and I wish it would.
That makes it so much worse, right?
Right. If you like it and it sticks.
Right. Well, Dan. So
yes, can I start by adding a little bit of something that Jay just said and agree with the utter vapidness and stupid sweetness bubblegum pop of Waking Up in Vegas, and I agree so much that I had it at 25 because I have no shame in going, this falls into that category of songs that Zach was talking about. Like, this is not a great song. I can tell you why it's not a good song, but what I can't tell you is why I like it so damn much.
List is littered with those for all three of us, it sounds like.
It really is. I don't have that problem at number 91 because I'll do my whole thing, but I think I think Jay did a far better job at the bottom than I did. But I'll start with the expected one because I'll start with Nickelback. And If Today Was Your Last Day, and if only Dark Horse was, if only that god awful nadir of what you like to call creativity would have just ended the band, it'd have been much, much better.
Yeah.
At number 92, I actually have a wish that maybe I wish I was paying more attention to the lyrics. It was Young Money and Every Girl. At number 93, I got to do this right. 303. Don't trust me. The male, less talented versions of 2009 Kesha, and anything that goes with it. But honestly, this line alone loses us so much points because you put into the bridge of your song the phrase, "Shush, girl, shut your lips, do the Helen Keller, and talk with your hips."
Not a great look.
No.
In any sense of the word.
No. I know I'm going to get some pushback at number 94 from a certain area, and I'm waiting for it because I have at number 94, Never Say Never by The Fray. I generally do enjoy pretty standard piano pop. That's fine. But this was too overwrought, even for me, and that should say something.
I am an unapologetic lover of The Fray, and I think I rank this too high at 51, to be perfectly honest.
I have it at 60.
This
I nothing the song.
I nothing yet, which is so weird because it's with it, right? But like by the end of the song, it came back, and I nothinged it so hard that I had to drop it that far.
That's fair.
At number 95, I have another entry that lost a ton of points for lyrics is Billy Currington and People Are Crazy. Yep. And look, as a song, it's fine. It's more traditional country than I actually would have expected to chart in 2009, but the chorus just ruins it for me. Besides barely being a chorus, you take this whole narrative about a possibly touching personal experience and then just kind of piss on it with a throwaway, God is great, beer is good, and people are crazy. Case 2 of trying to be a clever boy and just writing ham-fisted dreck.
But it's what the guy in the bar was telling him. No, I'm with you. I
was just saying,
it's ass.
And thank you.
Yeah, 79 for me. Easily could have been lower. Easily.
All right. I know I'm going to be right on here for sure. I think I've been pretty good at taking shots at songs that people find some level of meaning or feel goods in general. Because as we talked about, it is my role to be that asshole. While some people give tracks with the messages a pass, maybe, not this guy's style. Hope is great, but when you set it to a shitty track, I shall show you no mercy, Nickelback, and Gotta Be Somebody. Which that whole thing is a long way of saying, look, many people will say this one has a message of hope, as I mentioned, and giving people going through some hard times maybe something to latch on to, looking for that light in the dark. But really? Really? Well, it actually is a Nickelback song, so you already know where the floor of the writing is going to be, and we're talking like sub-basement level. Catchy, maybe, but simple. Sure. The whole Dark Horse record helped to drive the reputation of mainstream rock of the time even further down the dumper as it goes well with the record. Sad dad butt rock.
Lowest common denominator.
That's true. It's damn true.
LCD.
How can anyone argue that? I mean, 66, like, just because of the catchy nature is the only reason I ranked it as high.
I'm going to put it to this, that I'm pretty sure this is the first time Jay and I have had like multiple songs dead on each other's lists.
Yeah, y'all crushed it.
Yeah. Keep it rolling.
No, okay. I know I take my reputation in my hands at times by putting this song at number 97, keeping up hate that really truly fell out of favor back in like 2012. But let's be honest, early Justin Bieber was musically insufferable Justin Bieber, and whoever gave him one time should be ashamed of themselves. I know he can only be held accountable for so much of how this came out. But at the time, the bare bones, while also and at the same time overly try-hard production, gives the preteen a pretty weak structure to be working within. Whoever wrote the actual music for him didn't do him any favors either, giving him way too many jumps to push his squeaky vocals into, and push he had to. And finally, don't give a 12-year-old Canadian kid a lyric where he has to say shoddy multiple times. Just a bad look all around for a truly bad song.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah, it's, was he Was he actually 12? I mean, I guess I should.
I don't know. I'm just assuming that was the general area of where he was at. You think I would have done the research into finding out how old Justin Bieber was in 2009? Please.
That's a heavy lift. I don't think anyone is going to be that interested in it, right?
Yeah, that too. But that would have been. Damn it, man!
I was halfway there already.
That would have involved maths and stuff, and here you go. Look at you bringing facts into this stuff.
Wikipedia, it's my gateway. This song, not my gateway. It was 87, I believe.
I have it at 68, tied with "I Know You Want Me."
It feels like a fair tie, though. To be
yeah.
All right, fair cop. Moving on to 98, we have talked quite a bit in the past about how minimalist production can and cannot work. There are producers that do really impressive work working in that space. But one area where minimal production just never works is in the world of club bangers, which is what I imagine that Jim Jones had in mind for Pop Champagne when he wrote it. But then Ron Browse did nothing to help him at all. The beat is pretty sparse and a little distorted for all of that. The auto-tune on the vocals is painted on thicker than used motor oil. And that part makes sense when you find out that it was the first time that Browse had ever used auto-tune software, which is fine, sure, but why is that the version that made it past quality control? The most disappointing is that this should have actually been an absolute banger that ended up on all of those millennial throwback playlists, bumped across the Thursday night club nights where our fellow early 40-year-olds tried to relive those college days only to inevitably stumble out of the into the night about 70 minutes after arriving. Not because they quickly drank themselves into a stupor and were asked to leave, but because they forgot to take a Dones before dinner and the back pain had set in with the first attempted slut drop, and it's going to take a couple of days of stretching and icing before it feels right again.
That's such a mood.
What were we doing again?
Well, not popping champagne. That's
no. Number 9 pop champagne. But yeah, no, that
87 for me.
So I was miles away. Sorry.
Yeah, it's 86, so right there in the ballpark. Like,
I feel better is that at least I'm hitting on stuff that's like the bottom half of the list. Like I'm not taking shots, thankfully, at anybody's top 5.
Zach and I's lists are polar opposites. You're hitting most of it.
And I'm still hitting that. Although there's a chance here. I can move through this quickly because there's always a spot where I feel like I dislike something that is otherwise seemingly well loved. As everything I've read about Turning Me On from Carrie Hilson and Lil Wayne has been nothing but good, but it wasn't for me. And in a less ho-hum year, I don't know, this one probably doesn't make it all the way down to 99, but it just didn't hit for me. The way the numbers fell, so did Turning Me On. That's all I got for this one. Sorry.
This is not a guilty pleasure song, but a guilty pleasure bar for me, where Wayne says, I think he says something like, "Wheezy F, baby, don't forget the F around me, and if you do, then get the F around me." It's dumb as hell, but
dumb as
it's
shit.
But I like that.
All right,
it's stupid.
Respect.
37 just for that bar, and probably 91 for everything else.
I can't find it on my list. It's somewhere in here. I have to be scrolling right past it.
You nothinged it so hard right out of the list, apparently.
Yeah, but I have 100 songs on the list, so it's here somewhere.
Fair.
Oh, well. I mean, I don't love the song, so it's probably somewhere in the middle, and I'm just scrolling over it.
Cool. And then, do y'all remember that time when we gave people who couldn't sing the opportunity to release singles?
Sadly, yeah.
Yeah, me too. And no, there's not another Nickelback song here. But what there is here is a question for y'all. Why they hating on me? And the answer is clearly, your voice sucks, the production sucks, and Turn My Swag On is clearly the worst song from the 2009 year-end Hot 100. Look, Soulja Boy is no Pavarotti, and it wouldn't be fair to expect phenomenal vocals from him on anything. But that is what they get with. I wrote one thing down when I first re-listened to this song, and it was this. This must be what a cheese grater to the eardrum feels like. And when you combine it with the let's just throw fucking everything on the track that's hot method of production, it's just truly a mess. Jay talked about the same thing for his other song. All the whistles and the tweets and the sweeps, they don't fix the vocals. It doesn't help. And it doesn't even make me like, it's not even good enough to go, yeah, that was something I would have made a ringtone back in the day.
Yeah. like you nailed it. Like this was a song that was allowed to be released to the public. And that was a choice. It was a bad choice. It was the worst choice.
There should have been quality control, and there was no quality control.
That's all it would have taken. Just like, I mean, friends, concerned family members, household pets, like anyone just saying like, bro, no, just this ain't it.
Are you sure? Do you gotta have one friend that'll pull you aside and go, dude, are you sure?
I mean, Young Money was releasing music that year, so friends with stoppability power were in short supply.
And very soon, they would release Bedrock.
Yep.
You'll scroll backwards on your favorite podcast feed. Check out what Zach had to say about this song. If we go social media influencer, you won't believe what my man had to say about the 2010 single Bedrock from Young Money.
I talk about Bedrock with this one weird old tip. Doctors hate me for how I talk about it. Anyway, please shut me up.
Create a delicious dinner for your family with $10 and this man's opinion on Bedrock. Please rescue us. Please tell me about your number one song so we don't have to do this anymore.
Oh, God. I'm sprinting back to my spreadsheet so we can land this plane mercifully. It's a song. No, this has not been talked about. This person has been talked about. The song is not. I will discuss a Reddit post real quickly of supposed New Yorkers that were pretty split down the middle as to whether they liked this song about their city. But I do like this song, and it's my list, and it's not their list. So take that, half of a Reddit post. That's right. Get absolutely wrecked. Because Empire State of Mind is as beautiful a depiction of an area as any I've ever heard. And a lot of that is because it's not all sunshine and roses either. It's got some similarities to Paparazzi and to Sweet Dreams, as we talked about, in the way that's a bop that hides a sort of seedy underbelly, particularly discussions of scams, drugs, and plenty of folks that I promise do not have your best intentions at heart. Sure, there's opportunities being discussed too, but a lot of that opportunity comes at its own cost. Several costs that are, mentioned explicitly in the song itself. As far as the delivery from one Jay-Z, it's slow and methodical, and that's not a dig at all, but more so a compliment because that specific delivery works perfectly in this song. It's not a song that should be in a hurry. It's a song that should meander. It's a song that should linger in the air a bit so you really get the full gravity and the full feeling of what Jay is trying to portray. And I think he does a fabulous job there. But as all of you who have listened to the song know, it's the hook. It's that Alicia Keys hook that really knocks it out of the park. It's anthemic, and I feel like I've used that word already in 2 other reviews, but it fit there and it fits here too. In fact, it probably fits more here than there. Just the way that Alicia holds those notes is just amazing. It's the perfect juxtaposition to Jay's kind of slower, grittier delivery. It's awesome. Also, just a real quick departure, because if you get a chance to check out YouTube, look for a video discussing Jay's return to that so-called stash spot on 560 State Street. And it's just a really cool kind of then versus now view. He talks about some of the things that him and his crew did back in those days. He waxes poetic a little bit. It's short. It's like 8 minutes. It's a good watch. But listen to Empire State of Mind before you do that, just so you can get in the proper mood for it.
Agreed. And I can make this real easy because my number one tune for 2009 is Empire State of Mind featuring Jay-Z featuring Alicia Keys. The oft imitated, never duplicated rap style Zahova, positioned opposite her soulful voice, is just, it's far more than an advertisement for the Big Apple. It's an anthem for hope and inspiration in the lights and the movement of the big city. The sample of Love on a Two-Way Street by the Moments is sort of a perfect backdrop for the tune. And it doesn't really augment the original sentiment of the song either, which is cool. Culturally, Empire is a thermometer for quite a large group of people, feeling that things might finally start moving in a good direction. I don't want to put too fine a point on that because, let's face it, my face should not be the one making statements for the majority of that group. But I did feel it in that moment too. I was right with him. Keys says it best in the song Concrete Jungle, Wet Dream Tomato.
So beautiful. So perfect.
So beautiful. It's perfect.
Dan, where do you fall on this? Are you making it 3 for 3 with our number ones, or did you go in a different direction?
Let's just add one quick thing. Let's hear it for New York. And what I believe is a first.
Yeah.
A clean sweep at number 1.
For all of the static and dissonance between the three of us.
All of
this is how it ends.
This is how it ends. And it's, I mean, of the whole year, I can't think of a better way to do so.
And honestly, the fact, I knew it was coming because none of us had put it in our top 10 up to this point. So it had to be.
Right.
I was wondering. It was either like 11s across the board or 1s across the board. That was the only one.
Right.
So there you go. 3 way more correct re-rankings of the year that was 2009.
Despite the fact that we went polar opposite.
They're all correct in their own special ways.
Did you just, are we all getting a trophy now? Is that how this is going to work?
We should. We absolutely should. And the listeners too, for having to listen to this for who knows how long it's going to be in the final cut. Over an hour, if I had to guess.
Yeah, sorry.
Probably.
That's a tough listen. But maybe you liked it. Maybe you enjoyed what you heard. Let us know either way. Was it too long? Was it not long enough? Do you want 3 hours of us blathering about 2009 next time?
No.
We won't do it. Yeah, we absolutely would not. But it's good to know what you like. And you can tell us in all the usual ways. At Fairly KickAss on Blue Sky, Instagram, Threads, and TikTok. FairlyKickAss@gmail.com for your email correspondence. FairlyKickAss.com for the website, for the ride-along playlists that we have for every episode. And then, of course, wherever you're listening to this podcast is where you can and will be able to listen to this podcast, as well as literally anywhere else in the world. Any other podcast platform, yeah, let's go with that. Apple, YouTube, Spotify, the list goes on, and you name it, we're there. Search for Fairly Kickass, and if you can't find us, please let us know in all the aforementioned ways, and we will make sure we get there so you can get us on your podcast provider of choice. And with that, and any send-offs for the year that was 2009?
No, I got nothing.
Nope.
Neither did 2009.